Criminology students of UC Banilad Campus! Welcome to my channel. I'm a crime student in UC Banilad Campus. I choose my course because I absolutely love criminology. It is one of the most exciting, interesting, and dangerous career. Why? Watch this video.
Ang lahat po ng karangalan na natanggap ko ngayong umaga ay inaalay ko po sa inyo. Hindi ito ang pagtatapos. Kung hindi simula pa lamang ng tunay na pagsubok bilang tagapagpatupad ng batas, bilang tagapagtanggol, at bilang tagapagligtas. Marami na ako nalagpasan ng mga pagsubok. Inaamin ko na ilang beses din ako nagkaroon ng pagdududa sa puso ko. Para sa akin nga ba ang bukasyon na ito?
Alagaan mong mabuti ang sarili mo.
Opo, La. Bilang plebo, nasubukan ko ang lakas ng aming pangangatuan sa loob ng 45 araw. Tinuturuan kami sumunod sa nakatataas sa amin. Tinuturuan kami maging mapagkumbaba.
Cadet De Leon will receive the Presidential Kampilan for graduating number 1.
Sigurado ako na proud ka kaya doon.
Sobrang proud.
Hindi nagkapala ang lola mo, ano?
Na-surprise ka ba, Apo?
Sobra-sobra naman po yung paghahandang ginawa niyo para sa akin.
Nagsisimula pa lang yung tungkulin mo bilang pulis.
Hindi ko naman nakakalimutan yung sinumpaan kong tungkulin. At hindi ko po kayo bubulkuhin.
Why do you want to join the army? To serve my fellow men. Muslim po ako, Pilipino. Gusto ko maglingkod sa bayan. Kailangan ko po kumita ng pera.
Army po ang kapatid ko, kaya sa army ako nag-apply.
Wala makakapigil sa akin maging sundalo.
Hindi mo alam ang pinapasok mo.
Nakapag-desisyon na po ako.
Calling yan, Brad. Kapag ka tinawag ka ng serbisyo, kahit na anong iwas mo dyan, magiging sundalo ka pa rin. Dalawang kilo eh.
Isang improvised explosive device ang sumabog sa downtown Butuan City.
We need more men. We will wipe those who are responsible for this.
Katapos ng training na ito, nakaatang na sa inyong mga balita ang kaligtasan at kasiguruhan ng bansa.
Siya ang tumatayong leader ng buong grupo. I trust malilid mo na maayos ang team sa mission na to.
Yes, sir. Our mission begins tomorrow. Kailangan natin makakuha ng info mula sa kinuroonan ng kalaban.
Hindi magiging madali ang buhay mo dito.
Araw-araw na hinihingi ko sa Diyos na ingatan ka.
Hindi sapat na mahusay ka lang. Dito sa propesyon na pinili natin, kahit isang pagkakamali mo lang, may buhay na pwedeng mapahama.
Parang kahit ano na lang gawin ko will never be enough.
Hindi dapat maging dahilan ng pagkakawatak-watak natin ng ating mga paniniwala. Pare-pareho tayo sundalo, mapuprotekta natin isa't isa.
Huwag ninyong kalimutan, bayani ang inyong mga asawa.
Mabuhay!
Bayani ang inyong mga anak.
Kalaban ng mga sundalo. Sundalo na ako. Kalaban na rin ba tingin mo sa akin?
Bayani ang inyong mga tatay.
To serve and protect. A true hero is someone who devotes their life in service of something greater than themselves. That's why I choose criminology to protect people, to maintain peace and order. As a criminology, you can also learn how to save life. The course also offers special physical education classes, which include martial arts, first aid, survival training, and more. In today's video, I will show you different types of emergencies and scenarios. So, what is first aid? A first aid is an emergency care given immediately to an injured person. You don't have to be a professional to save a life. If you find yourself in an emergency situation, follow these safe steps.
What is shock? Shock is a life-threatening condition that occurs when the body is not getting enough blood flow. Shock may result from trauma, heat stroke,
allergic reaction, or other causes. Signs and symptoms of shock. What to do? First, treat any cause of shock that you can see or that you have identified from the primary survey, such as severe bleeding. Second, help the casualty to lie down. Raise the casualty's legs, supporting them on a chair, as this will help to improve the blood supply to their vital organs. If available, lay them down on a rug or blanket to protect them from the cold. Third, call 911 or your local emergency number for help and tell ambulance control that you suspect shock. Fourth, loosen any tight clothing around the neck, chest, and waist to make sure it doesn't constrict their blood flow. Next, while waiting for help to arrive, cover them with a coat or blanket to help keep them warm and calm. And lastly, keep monitoring their level of response. If they become unresponsive at any point, prepare to treat an unresponsive casualty. What is drowning? Drowning is trouble breathing after you get water into your airways. Sometimes that happens while swimming. Drowning is a leading cause of death for children. Signs and symptoms of drowning. What should you do when you see someone drowning? Before attempting any rescue or assistance, always ensure your own safety. First, call for the emergency services. Next, remove person from the water. Do not enter the water to rescue a drowning casualty unless you have been trained to do so. Throw a life belt or rope if possible. Otherwise, get help fast. No breathing, do artificial breathing. No pulse, do CPR. If breathing and pulse is normal and no spinal injuries, put person in the recovery position. Next, keep the person warm and monitor vital signs. Get person to the hospital and report incident to supervisor. First, wash your hands with soap and water. Gently wash the cat. Apply pressure to stop the bleeding. Then, apply betadine or any disinfectant cream. Cover with a new band-aid. Cover with a new bandage. What is a fracture? Fracture is a break in the continuity of the bone. Generally, a fracture comes in two kinds, open and closed. In the case of an open fracture, the broken bone may pierce the skin surface. But in a closed fracture, the skin around the fracture is intact. However, broken bones may be unstable, causing internal bleeding, and the casualty may develop shock. Signs and symptoms of fracture. What to do? 1. Advise the casualty to keep still while you support the injured part to stop it from moving. 2. Place padding around the injury for extra support. 3. If it is an open fracture, cover the wound with a clean, non-fluffy cloth. Apply pressure around the wound and not over the protruding bone to control any bleeding. Then, secure the dressing with a bandage. 4. Once you've done this, call your local emergency number for help. Do not move the casualty until the injured part is secured. Unless they are in immediate danger, you can secure an upper limb fracture with a sling and a lower limb fracture with broad fold bandages. And lastly, monitor their breathing and level of response while waiting for help to arrive. What is burn? Burn is a damage to your body's tissues caused by heat or flames. Very hot water, electricity, radioactivity, or chemicals that corrode the proteins in the skin cells. Signs and symptoms of burn. What to do? 1. Cool the burn under cold running water for at least 10 minutes. 2. Apply burn ointment such as petroleum gel, if available. 3. Cover the burn with a clean plastic bag. And lastly, for a serious burn, call your local emergency number. Heat injury. Heat injury is an environmental injury when one is overexposed to extreme heat or high temperature. Types of heat injury. Heat cramps. Heat exhaustion. Heat stroke. Signs and symptoms of heat injury. First aid measures. First, transfer the victim to a cool or shady area. 2. Loosen tight clothing. 3. Have the victim drink slowly at least 1 liter of water. 4. Apply cold compress or ice bath if available. 5. Elevate the victim's legs in a stroke position. 6. Monitor the victim until the symptoms lessen or disappear. And lastly, seek a doctor's assistance if symptoms persist. What is poison? A poison is any substance that when taken into the body may be harmful to the normal functions of the body. Signs and symptoms of poison. What to do? If someone has swallowed a poison and they are responsive, ask them, "What have you swallowed?" How much did you swallow? When did you swallow it? If there is a change in behavior, loss of consciousness, or difficulty breathing, call your local emergency number as soon as possible. What is snake bites? A snake bite is an injury caused by the bite of a snake, especially a venomous snake. Signs and symptoms of snake bites. How to administer first aid to someone suffering from snake bite. First, immobilize the area of the bite. Second, apply firm pressure to the wound with a bandage. Third, remove any jewelry, a swelling may occur. And lastly, alert emergency services and follow their advice. If the bite is venomous, do not attempt to suck the venom. This technique is ineffective and can even be dangerous. What is dog bites? Dog bite is a wound received from the teeth of an animal. Animals may bite in self-defense, in an attempt to prey in food, and as part of normal interactions. Signs and symptoms of dog bites. How to administer first aid to victim of an animal bite. First, gently clean with soap and warm water. Rinse for several minutes after cleaning. This limits the risk of infection or of catching rabies. Next, apply direct pressure with clean cloth. And lastly, consult a doctor immediately. He'll treat the wound more effectively and decide what measures are necessary to guard against rabies and tetanus infection. What is allergy? An allergy is a reaction by your immune system to something that does not bother most other people. People who have allergies often are sensitive to more than one thing. Symptoms of allergic reaction. What to do? First, call your local emergency number. Second, tell ambulance control that you think someone is having a severe allergic reaction and give them any information you have about what may have triggered it. Third, if a person knows they have a severe reaction, they may have medication with them, such as an auto-injector or other medicines. Help them to use it. And lastly, keep monitoring their level of response. What is anaphylactic shock? Anaphylaxis is a severe, potentially life-threatening allergic reaction. The terms anaphylaxis and anaphylactic shock are often used to mean the same thing. They both refer to a severe allergic reaction. Symptoms of anaphylaxis. First aid for anaphylaxis. First, seek medical attention immediately. Second, calm and reassure the person having the reaction. Third, do not wait for the reaction to worsen. And lastly, if the person has allergy medication in hand, help the person take or inject the medication. Avoid oral medication if the person is having difficulty in breathing. What is nosebleed? A nosebleed is blood loss from the tissue that leaves your nose. It can affect both nostrils, but most often occurs in only one nostril. Usually, a nosebleed is not serious. Local causes of nosebleeds. What to do? First, help the person to sit straight or lean forward slightly. Second, firmly pinch the nose with index and thumb finger. Third, ask them to breathe through their mouth. Fourth, encourage them not to speak, swallow, or cough because this may break blood clots in the nose. Fifth, place a cloth on person's forehead and around the neck. Sixth, If bleeding continues after 10 minutes, repeat the process. And lastly, if the bleeding is severe and doesn't stop even after 20 minutes, or heavy bleeding that may cause hard to breathe, call for help. What is hyperventilation? A hyperventilation is a natural, fast, or deep breathing, normally caused by anxiety, experiencing an emotional upset, or a history of panic attacks. Signs and symptoms of hyperventilation. What to do? First, try to reassure the casualty and be kind. Second, if you can take them to a quiet place, this may help them to regain control of their breathing. Third, ask any bystanders to leave. Give the casualty space. Fourth, encourage them to seek medical advice so they can learn how to prevent and control hyperventilation or a panic attack in the future. And lastly, if you are worried and they do not seem to improve, call for emergency help.
It can happen in an instant. 1 minute there's friendly conversation around the table, the next minute someone's choking.
Are you okay?
According to the National Safety Council, roughly 5,000 people die from choking each year. Josh Mockley, a Mayo Clinic cardiac nurse, says when you see someone choking, it's important to remain calm as you let them know you're about to help.
So you want to place the thumb side of your fist against the person's abdomen, and then you want to apply the other hand on top of that, and then sharply apply pressure to relieve the air.
It's called the Heimlich maneuver.
1, 2, 3.
Mockley says to repeat the process until you see the object they're choking on come out of the person's mouth.
1, 2, 3. Are you okay?
Oh, yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Glad you feel better.
Yeah, thanks.
If the person loses consciousness before the object comes out, make sure someone calls 911 for help while you continue to work to clear the person's airway.
1, 2.
For the Mayo Clinic News Network, I'm Ian Roth.
People may faint as a reaction to pain, exhaustion, hunger, or emotional stress. It may also happen after someone has been standing or sitting still for a long period of time, especially if they are hot. When someone faints, their pulse slows right down, but it usually picks up again quickly and goes back to normal. If someone has fainted but doesn't come round after a couple of minutes, then this could be more serious. There are 3 key signs of someone who has fainted. They have a brief period of unresponsiveness, causing them to fall to the ground. They may have a slow pulse. Their skin may be pale, cold, and sweaty. If someone's feeling faint, advise them to lie down. Kneel down next to them and raise their legs, supporting their ankles on your shoulder or a chair if available, to help blood flow back to the brain. Watch their face for signs that they are recovering. Make sure that they have plenty of fresh air. Ask bystanders to move away, and if you're inside, ask someone to open a window. They should recover within a couple of minutes. As they recover, reassure them and help them to sit up slowly when they are feeling better. If they don't become responsive again, quickly open their airway, check their breathing, and prepare to treat someone who is unresponsive. So remember, if someone's feeling faint, lie them down and raise their legs. Make sure they have plenty of fresh air, and when they recover and are feeling better, help them to sit up slowly. If they remain unresponsive, prepare to treat an unresponsive casualty. And that's how we help someone who's feeling faint or have fainted. If this video has been helpful to you, help support St John Ambulance by going to sjA.org.uk/donate.
First aid for a seizure.
Oh, Harry. You're just having one of your seizures. Don't worry.
Protect them from injury.
Don't worry.
Do not restrain them.
Be all right. Just listen to my voice, Harry. Just gonna check your breathing. All right. I'm just gonna roll you over, Harry.
When the seizure is over, help them to rest on their side with their head tilted back.
Okay. That's it.
Remember, make them safe and prevent injury.